final Figured Out Friday in the Coaches Cafe for 2025. Today, we're going to have a conversation about truth and transparency and why rest is required. So, good morning. Thank you for getting up with me. As a good friend of mine say, you don't have to be alone to be strong. But we'll see how this conversation goes. So, hopefully, you all had a wonderful holiday, a beautiful Christmas, a beautiful rest experience, whether you were out and about visiting, traveling, or whether you were with friends and family, or whether you just stayed at home, right? And so I literally stayed at home and rested all day. So today our conversation, again, welcome to the Coaches Cafe. It is your girl, Coach Regina. We're doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. And I'm your plant-based boss. So here in the Coaches Cafe, good morning, V. Thank you for joining. In the Coaches Cafe, we pull up every Friday morning, 6 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And we're dropping wellness nuggets. We're dropping things that are actually practical that you can apply to your daily life. So as it relates to health and wellness on your wellness life journey, right? Because it's not, I tell you all, if you've been pulling up with any length of time, I will tell you that it's not about pills, powders, procedures, or injections. In this life, we are required to do a level of work. And so I share various tips and information that you can use starting today, right? So very practical. So thank you all so much for joining this morning. I'm going to share this out with a few people as we kick off our day. And so again, thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all so much for joining, and marvelous holidays to you, whatever you're up to these days. So drop in the comments if you are in a position where you have been tired, but you steady pushing. Drop in the comments if you know you need a break and you just refuse to take one. Let me know who's in the audience today. Let me know if you're one who need to take a break, but you just refuse to take one. Your body been telling you, you know what, we kind of on the tired side, sister girl. We kind of on the tired side, brother man. But we keep pushing because we normalize the push. We absolutely normalize the push. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this last Friday in 2025. This is our last Friday in 2025, and this is a very timely conversation. It is timely for me, and because I've been sharing with y'all about encouraging you to rest over the last, I don't know, maybe the last several months. I have been encouraging you to rest, but there's a reason why I'm leaning into this space more heavily as we close out this year. And then that is going to be my focus for 2026, even as I provide you with other information that's going to help you on your journey in terms of, your nutrition. You can have your nutrition together, baby. You can have your movement together. But if you're not prioritizing your rest and recovery, it's going to be difficult to really get the results that you want. So that's the conversation that we're going to lean in today. So I want to welcome you in again, all who are joining Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. This is our final live in the Coaches Cafe. So welcome to the show, powered by Doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. And so today isn't about us having a conversation about pushing through. Typically at the end of the year, we're trying to push through, get that last thing done. We set out our goals at the start of the year, and then we find ourselves at the end of the year saying, did I meet my goal? Did I do the thing? And so if you find yourself in a place where you sort of kind of did not do the thing, now you're trying to kick in to high alert mode because why? Because we don't want to let ourselves down. And of course, if we don't want to let other people down, we have fear of what they're going to say because I did not finish that thing. Oh, good morning, Candace. Thank you for joining. Honey, listen, girl, that 12-day, we'll talk about that later, them 12 planks of Christmas, we just got to start that over January the 1st, right? So, but we're going to talk about that later. Welcome, Candace. Thank you for joining. Y'all, at the end of the year, we find ourselves pushing. Well, I want to invite you to a space because it's not always required that we keep pushing. Societal norms, people that we're around, we're high achievers, we like to set goals. We don't like to look at ourselves as being failures. We like to know that I set my goal and I accomplished these things. Okay, good deal, perfect. Candace on Instagram said I got a few things in the works. And I'm gonna mention that in just a little bit what I'm talking about, and me having a conversation with Candace over here, YouTube and Facebook. I'm gonna bring y'all in on this situation. But I want you to think about, and I want you to type in the comments, type in the chat. Today isn't about pushing through. Today isn't about pushing through. And I'm, talking to myself because, I ain't been pushing through. Y'all, your girl have been pausing. So today is about pausing. It's about us learning how to pause, because it's about the fact that we have normalized this thing called exhaustion. We have normalized this thing called grind. We have normalized this thing called we gotta go get it. We like to say things like get it out the mud. We grind. It's the grind culture. It's the hustle culture. And we disregard every single warning sign that our bodies are telling us. That our bodies are having conversations with us that we just simply continue to ignore. So, even right here, just pause for a brief second. I'm going to hit this little inhale, and then I'm going to hit that little exhale. I'm going to be doing it 5 and 6 times a day, y'all. Inhale, exhale. I want you to teach yourself how to pause. That was a practical application. Teach yourself how to pause. Candace on Instagram said, yeah, these things have become the culture. Yeah, we have normalized being exceptionally busy. We take that as a badge of honor because I can multitask, because I burn the midnight oil, because I get up early and I stay late, and I am the one that you can actually rely on. But here's the deal. We celebrate pushing through. We celebrate not pausing, but I gotta stop. We have to have a real conversation. You not pausing really is impacting your nervous system. You don't even realize that because you are so used to going. You're so used to being that one. I'm raising my hand because that was me. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. We ignore every warning sign that our body is sending us because we're so used to pushing. It is not acceptable to take a break without you being sick. It is not acceptable to say, you know what? I'm unavailable. Y'all know I got this t-shirt on for a reason. This is an announcement. This is an announcement, the spirit of unavailability. We're always available to everybody and everything, every project. We lead the project at home. We lead the project at church. We lead the project at work. We lead the projects in our civic organizations. But when do you realize that your capacity is low? Like my girl Kim said last week, it's not that you don't have low capacity, you have low boundaries. And so, in thinking about this thing called rest, R-E-S-T, it's imperative, y'all. And I'm leaning in this so hard because we have truly normalized the things that should not be normal. It should not be normal for you to only take off when you're sick. It should not be normal for you to be off like today. I know many people are off for the holidays, but yet and still you pack your Friday with things to do, refusing to rest, refusing to unplug, refusing to disconnect and be intentionally unavailable. We've normalized too many things that are not normal, that are actually counterproductive to our health, y'all. And so I don't want you to continue to ignore the warning signs. And I'm gonna tell you about mine, but we pushing through at the end of the day, we got to get that last thing done. I'm going to invite you, stop trying to get that last thing done. Start working on not trying to force yourself to get everything done. It is okay to leave something for the next day. Practically, 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 and I'm going to say it again for those in the back row. Practically, it is okay to leave something. Good morning on Facebook. Hey, what's going on, Unc? Welcome. I missed you. You ain't been pulling up. So as we close out the year, as we close out 2025, I know a lot of people are just trying to make sure they get the thing done. We've been taught to finish strong by force. Like you gotta keep pushing, push through. You got, and I used to be that person. I used to be the person encouraging you to push through. You gotta finish. You gotta finish strong. Finish the year strong. You can do it. Like all the things that we think are helpful. Don't cheat yourself. You don't cheat yourself. And it's easy for me to use working out. So I'm going to use it as an example. So we like to push through, get that last rep in, grind hard that last mile. But what if your body was saying no? Internally, I'm not talking about externally, what people see. I'm not talking about external, what you see. Because you getting these results. Yeah, Candace said you can do more with less. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm learning, Candace. I really am learning. I really am leaning into this space. I've been leaning into this space hard for the last several weeks. We find ourselves consistently pushing. The people around us support us in our, on our journeys. And like I said, I'm gonna use wellness or working out as one because that's just easy to use. Like we want to keep pushing through. But sometimes our bodies are telling us no more, one more, no more, one more. Don't add no weight to it. Don't add another mile. Matter of fact, fall back. But the problem is, if our body is internally telling us to fall back, unless we feel weird, I'm just saying, unless we feel like something is wrong, then we keep pushing. We don't listen to anything that our bodies are telling us. And so let me just share this with you all. A little transparency, a little human moment on this Friday. Y'all, can I share a human moment with you all on this Friday? Can your girl share a human moment with you on this Friday? As a health coach, I've been on my journey for over 30 years, 28 plus 30 years. And I be thinking I'm doing these things that are so good for me. I work out, I eat fairly well, I don't take supplements unless my doctor, who recently just put me on some supplements that I'm absolutely 100% not okay about, okay? So I gotta make some nutritional adjustments because I'm giving myself 3 months on these supplements and then your girl gotta be off of them. So I gotta do more research to make sure I'm getting these things that my doctors say that I need, okay? Because guess what? I'm not a doctor, right? But I'm gonna be a very good patient and a very good model for future patients. Let me tell y'all this. I've been leaning into this space because my body, little human moment for y'all, a little human moment. I have been exhausted, right? And didn't even know it. I'm saying exhausted, not physically exhausted at all. I've been working out. I've been getting up early to work out with a group and getting up early, like earlier than usual, earlier than normal to work out. And so I have things that I do in the evening times, after hours. I have clients that I see after hours. Then I'm getting up early in the morning to work out. Had been doing that for, a couple of months. There are several times when y'all got these alarms. Do y'all set y'all alarms? Yeah, I set my alarm. There were several times when I literally had gone to bed at a decent time. And guess what, y'all? Your girl slept clean through the alarm. Ding, 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 ding. That's a warning sign. If you sleep clean through an alarm, matter of fact, the following week, I started setting 2 alarms. Transparency moment here. I slept through 2 alarms. Ding, 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 ding. That's a warning sign. If I'm not responding to the alarm, then what is my body trying to tell me? So I ignored that. I kept pushing, kept getting up, kept working out, kept pushing, kept getting up, kept working out. Y'all, this thing called rest is fundamental to optimal health. Let me say that. Rest is fundamental to optimal health. Not grinding, not pushing, but resting. Resting, respecting your body and resting is the key to optimizing your health. It is the key to optimizing your health. It wasn't that, so I was like, well, and so how it showed up, like I said, I missed my alarm a couple of times. So I'm wondering, okay, do I need to go to bed earlier? You know, listen, making these modifications, and then, okay, so that impacts your, throughout the day. I don't like that. I hadn't been taking supplements until recently. My doctor placed me on some supplements that I'll be on for a couple of months. But my body was signaling to me that I needed to do something different. Like, sometimes it's practical to go to bed earlier, and sometimes it's not. It's easy to say, well, just go to bed early, then you can still get up early. That may not be practical for some people. So I'm saying that to you all because if your body is giving you warning signs, you are a resource. You are the best asset that you have. You are the best human resource that you have. Pay attention to your body. What is your body telling you? And then they say govern yourself accordingly. What adjustments do you need to make so that your wellness is optimized? For me, I had to reprioritize some things. I had to release some things that were not serving me. They were good things. Working out is a good thing. But working out at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, evidently was not a good thing for me. No pun to anybody else who it works for, but that did not work for my body. And I'm going to tell y'all how I found out that it wasn't working for my body. And not just that. That was just a thing that really showed up to show me, Regina, girl, you need to do something different. You always on the go. You're always thinking about things. You're always planning things. You always have these ideas about supporting people, supporting your business, all these things. But guess what? When do you pause and let your nervous system take a break? Did y'all catch that? I didn't just say your body, but your nervous system need to take a break. What's up, Patrice? What's up over there on YouTube? No, Facebook. Listen. There are times when you may not be doing anything, but guess what? Your mind is still running. That's what I had to learn. And I'm going to tell y'all how I learned about that. But I need for you to understand. Do not push yourself to chronic stress. Do not push yourself to a place of burnout. If your body is giving you information, and only you know what kind of information your body is giving you. If your body is giving you information, pay attention to it. If your body is giving you information, pay attention to it. A lot of times we feel like, I got to be doing something. I got to stay busy. I got to stay engaged. We need to disengage and figure out how to unplug and figure out how to really rest. Those are some things that I'm going to really be leaning into in 2026. And so let me just share with you all, one of the most affirming things for me was when I went to the doctor last week when I went to the doctor. Shout out to my practitioner. So I actually Candace said, learning how to shut down is essential. Learning how to shut down is essential. So much so, Candace, I'm going to lean into there before I go to my next little point. But I'm going to lean into that. Yeah, I realized that I do not have a power down routine. And so, Candace, if you got any tips on a power down routine, honey, message me. Send me a power down routine. I've been working the last several days on creating me a morning routine and then a power down routine that I'll share. I'll share some of that with you all. But I didn't have a morning power down routine. What's up, Chantel? I don't have a power down routine. I realized that even after I work out, even after I, get ready to go to bed, I'm not powering down in a way that's supporting my nervous system. I'm not powering down in a way that's supporting my central nervous system. Like I share with you all, it's important that you learn how to rest from the inside and not just the outside, right? Learning how to power down, learning how to shut down, learning how to disconnect so that your body can rest and so that your body can actually have a real, true recovery. So I learned here recently that I do not shut down. Even when I lay down, Doc said, "You ain't shutting down." Whoops. Transparency moment here. Doc said in the paperwork, even when you're laying down, you are not shutting down. So when I'm supposed to be resting, my mind is still going. And I'm not, that interferes with the kind of sleep that I'm supposed to be getting. That's a conversation that I'll be, teaching you all more about in the new year, But I had a little test done called ANS, heart test. Because, hey, you can think you're doing all the things, but baby, go to the doctor and get you some real information, and then govern yourself accordingly. So ANS stands for Autonomic Nervous System, Autonomic Nervous System, Autonomic Nervous System. Excuse me, Autonomic Nervous System, and so it measures and looks at what your body does automatically, like your heartbeat, your blood pressure. Man, my blood pressure was good. It was like 101 over 78 when I went to the doctor. But guess what? When they ran this test, I did my little deep breathing. I was laying down. I was relaxing. But when the results came back that even at a rested state, I was constantly going, Doc didn't have to tell me. I told myself that I had to make changes. When I looked at the report and realized I was not, powering down, I was not shutting down, it showed that my body stayed in survival mode even at night when I'm asleep. What am I fighting with in my sleep? So this high energy, your greatest strength can be your greatest weakness. So that's not a badge of honor to always be wired up. Y'all, it's 5. It was like, I got up like at 5 o'clock this morning and I wake up with all this here energy, right? What you gonna, hey. Your girl gotta have a power down system and a morning routine system. Candace on Instagram says the power down is also unique to you. What helps some power down may not help others. That is so true. That is so true. That's why I've been looking at things that for me, some things that I'll be doing to help me power down. Because some people like music, some people don't like music, some people, they're just different things that you can do. So I'm going to be trying a few things to see what works for me. I know that having a TV on at nighttime is not going to be the thing that I'm going to be able to do. Removing my devices, just simple things like that. But I'm going to say this to you all, like I said, transparency moment. My test revealed what I already knew. Like, girl, you always own it. But I thought I had been doing better. Until my test said you steady going. And so I cannot, compromise my health, because you think you're doing the thing by working out, but my body did not respond well to getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and working out that early. And so my doctor was like, you need to dial down some of your working out. What? You need to dial down some of your working out. Who talking about, Willis? So what that looks like is, and this is a conversation I want to, really encourage you in. Do what honors your body, right? I know in the new year, a lot of people are going to join programs. You're going to join challenges. You're going to join probably some kind of weight loss program. You're going to do something to kind of like new year, new you. But the reality of it is, it's a new year, same you, but you want to have some new behaviors. It don't have to be a new you. It's the same you. We just want some new behaviors. And I want to encourage you to really pay attention to your body in the new year. If you are not in a position, and I want us to eliminate or remove this failure mode. Like, if you don't finish, you're a failure. That's not true. Especially when I'm talking about you paying attention to your body. And so it's not that you're lazy. It's not that you don't want to do the thing, but we have normalized and allowed society and culture to support that. Grind, grind, grind. Like, you just gotta. And because I'm in this space and I'm walking in this space myself personally, I'm anti-grind culture. I'm over here talking about being different. You may be the only one that says, you know what? I don't have 3 miles today. You might be in a walking group. Baby, all you might have today is 1 minute walk. Honor that 1 minute, because that 1 minute walk could be 100% of the capacity that you have that day to even give any energy to. So I want to challenge you as you close out the year and as you're preparing for 2026 and leaning really into 2026. Rest. Type this in the comment. Rest is required. It's not optional. Rest is required. It is not optional. I don't care if you work 2 jobs. I don't care if you have 3 children, a spouse, a donkey, and a dog. Create systems that support your whole well-being, not just your physical well-being, not just your nutritional well-being, not just your social well-being, but we want to create systems where we're able to put all of that together for optimal wellness. That includes rest. Rest is required. It is not optional. And then I also want to let you know that rest is not earned. You do not have to grind until you're exhausted and then like, oh, it's time for me to take a rest. No. 2025, I'm going to break down 2026. I'm going to be breaking down my rest framework. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop the R to you right now. But next Friday, I'm going to lean in and break down the framework that I came up with to help support me and help support you, because I know I want to clap y'all so loud. I just want to clap. But I know I'm not the only one who has not prioritized my wellness in a way that honors rest. Like, we'll honor a day off. We'll honor, we'll honor self-care. We talking a lot about self-care these days. We talk a lot about, stress management and how do you, mitigate stress. We talk a lot about eating well. We talk about our nutrition. Like, we want to be on this wellness path. I want you to be on the wellness path. But I also learn, and that's why I'm sharing with you very transparently on this Friday. You can eat well, you can work out, but if you're not resting and recovering, you're countering what you've been doing otherwise. Love that. Love that. Love that. Learn to live from rest. Yes. Chantel says the soft life. Y'all drop in the comments a few things that you're doing that I can share with these others over here on Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, learning to embrace the soft life. The grind culture, I'm gonna invite you to be different. Be set apart. Honor rest. Honor your bodies in a way that feels good to you. And I'm gonna tell you all. Let me just tell you. When you think about it, I'm one that was doing like 2 a days. Y'all don't do this stuff like that. I was doing 2 a days, working out 2 a days, mean working out 2 times a day, working out in the morning, working out in the evenings. But let me tell you, Chantel said, my nose mean no, I surely cannot. Chantel, you see my shirt, the spirit of unavailability. Look, becoming unavailable so that you can honor your own space, so that you can honor your own body. I want to just help you out understand, like, it can look like you're doing all the things, but when I tell you, when I looked at those results, I I was not surprised, but then again, I was surprised. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know that my mind was literally in survival mode, still running, still going. And so now I get to choose to be intentional with creating a plan that is going to support me optimizing rest. I phrased it the way that I did on purpose. I get to choose. See, what I don't want to happen, because my doctor scheduled a follow-up appointment, like when was the last time I had to have a follow-up appointment? This is transparency, y'all. I usually go to the doctor and I'm good to go. But Kat want to see me back in 5 months, 6 months. So I go back to the doctor in May to see if I've established any rest practices. This is how serious it is. And so if you are not familiar with an ANS, Autonomic Nervous System test, it's worth the investment. It is worth the investment. So if my insurance don't pay for it in May, I'm paying for it out of pocket, because I'm putting in the work now so that when I go to the doctor in May, that my results look different. I don't have high blood pressure, because the things that I used to talk about, having high blood, I didn't have high blood pressure. That's that is a lifestyle condition that shows up in my family a lot. So I have been doing the work to avoid having high blood pressure. I've been doing the work to avoid carrying excess weight, which is, essentially obesity. I've been doing the work to avoid being diagnosed as having diabetes. I've been doing the work to keep my cholesterol intact, because I was borderline high cholesterol and I weighed 30 pounds more than what I, weigh in these current days. But what I have not been intentional with and doing the work around, somebody type in the comments, rest. I lack true rest. I started noticing that, while I was working. Now, that was a whole nother situation, but since I've been retired and I'm getting these results now. So just imagine what it was like when I was working. So I know a lot of people are still working. That's why I'm going to really, really lean into this conversation. Oh, Candace, you dropped that. Candace said on Instagram, what we need to consider is being intentional about scheduling your life around rest instead of squeezing it in. Candace, you're going to do a whole live, you're going to do a whole lesson on that. I'm going to have you on here to really break that down. Y'all, I'm saying this. I want us to finish well. I want you to finish this year with honesty. I had to take a break and I had to acknowledge when I went to the doctor, I couldn't ignore what the documentation said and be like, oh, I'm still going to keep doing this. I'm still going to, no. Because for me, at this point, my life is on the line. Like if I'm not recovering, if I'm not getting the rest that I need, that's going to show up. If you don't get the rest that you need, it's going to impact your blood pressure. It's going to impact your cortisol. It's going to impact it's going to impact all the things. If you are not allowing your body the proper time to rest and recover, type in the comment, rest and recover. We're not giving our bodies internally, oh, you look good on the outside, baby. I can flex on you all day. Your girl can flex. But the real flex that I'm learning is learning to prioritize rest. As a result of information that I received from my medical provider. I'm not just going out here saying, girl, y'all, I'm about to close the year out because I just want to chill out and cook. No, I got information that backs it up. I've got to rest and allow my body to recover. So I want you to finish this year strong by figuring out, how am I going to really create restful systems that work for me? Because Candace is so right. What works for you may not work for me. Drop some ideas. Maybe I can try some things. But I know for a fact I've got to do some things different. And I've already started. Let me tell y'all what I did yesterday on good old Jesus' birthday, as we say. rested all day. I've been laying around like this is intentional, being unplugged, like with devices down, not just unplugged and strolling. No, unplugged, laying down, just being intentionally unavailable even to my own thoughts. Like, no, I don't want to think about that. Like, shut your thoughts down. Can you shut your thoughts down? Because that's the place where I'm just wiring and going. So I'm going to be really working on that. And I want you to slow down as you close out this year and really think about, how am I honoring a place of rest? In January, I'm going to break the framework down so that you can have practical tools. Because what I don't want to happen is for you to do what you did last year, year before that, and year before that, and year before that. Set all these goals that do what? Stress you out. We set all these goals. We have a vision board party, and then we get stressed out about not accomplishing these things. I'm going to be walking with you on how to be more practical and how to be more realistic that honors you. I am going to have things in place without a lot of pressure. And guess what, y'all? I'm going to show up 100% and I'm going to execute on those things. But I'm going to do it differently in 2026. I'm not going to be applying all this pressure on myself. Certainly going to be applying all this pressure on my clients, and we're going to still get the results. We're going to still get the work done that is required to get done. I am leaning 100% into understanding, how do you rest as you rise? Type that in the comment. How do you rest as you rise? Because we're too busy trying to rise. We're too busy trying to elevate to the next level, be our best next. But we're not resting. Your blood pressure is out of whack. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to type that in the chat. So many people are chronically stressed, blood pressure out of whack. Praise be to God. And I'm going to attribute that to the fact that I've been doing woosah practices for the last 20-something days. With Leader Roundtree, I've been practicing meditation. And so I'm pretty sure that helped my blood pressure. Ain't no doubt about it. It helps reset your nervous system, in case you did not know. And so Chantel said rest and recovery over here on Instagram, and Candy said it is absolutely necessary. So I want you all to understand this. I wanted to have just a transparent moment for anybody that's been walking with me on this journey, or when I show up, you can see me. Sometimes I show y'all pictures when I'm at the gym or whatever. But transparency looks like me sharing the truth with you all. Grinding and going without a break will break you. Grinding and going without a break will break you. I don't want you to be broke. I don't want your mental wellness to be broke, or your physical wellness. I want you to show up, absolutely. But there are times when you got to develop this spirit of unavailability and create a system that actually works for you. That's going to help you to prioritize your wellness, y'all. That's what I got for y'all this morning. The truth is, rest is required, and we run from it. We run from rest like it's the bubonic plague. Don't nobody want to sit down and take a break because we always got to be doing something, always. No, you don't. No, you don't. I know that is counterculture. That's not what we're used to. We're used to setting goals, and then we check in on them weekly, and then we check in on them monthly. We have an accountability partner, and we want to check in on our quarterly goals. Then we have this idea of all or none, and we have this failure mentality. I want you to have grace in the new year. I want you to not apply all that people pleasing. Please, come on now. Come on now. We're going to do some work on how to get to where you want to be without all the pressure. Yeah. There's a way to be well, to do life well, to live well without all the pressure. Because pressure, yeah, that's a conversation for another day. But let me just say this to you. Rest is 100% required. You do not have to earn rest. Pay attention to your body. If you don't feel like doing it, maybe you don't need to press. Maybe you don't need to push. You're not being lazy because you decide that your body need a break. And I know people work out with personal trainers. I know we have coaches. I get all that. But in this season, if you don't prioritize your rest, and maybe your coach teach you and talk to you about rest, and good if they do. But for the everyday person who does not have a coach, who do not have access to this information right now, I'm sharing with you as you go about your daily life, understand you need to prioritize your rest and recovery. People pleasing and proving are rest thieves. Thank you on Instagram. Thank you, Candace. Candace girl, yeah, you're right for an interview for January. Because I'm gonna leave you all with this. If when you go, I know you get your little wellness appointments, but ask your doctor about an ANS. Because your blood pressure can be normal. You can have a normal blood pressure reading, as your girl did. I had a normal blood pressure reading, but when they print out them 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of information based on my ANS test, I learned a lot. And there are some adjustments that I'll be making before I go back to the doctor in May. Blood pressure was 101/78. It doesn't get any better than that. However, I would not have known how I was in fight or flight, how I was in survival mode. I would not have known that. I don't look like I'm in survival mode. I show up and I think I'm, hey. But no, I'm in like constant. So I'm inviting to a rest place. I'm going to be breaking down my framework over 4 Fridays in January. The first letter of the rest framework is release the load. And I'm going to really walk you through and what that looks like practically. I'm not talking about things that's not practical, right? I have clients in the evenings. So it ain't practical for me to say, well, shut down and go to bed at 7 o'clock. Well, my clients don't get out of work to 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Now, how is that productive to me serving them? So there are things that we have to, analyze and see what works for us. Again, I'm going to be breaking down the rest framework in January because the truth of the matter is rest is required. You don't have to earn rest. Take the break, relax. And we're going to be walking through real practical things on what that looks like. I'm not just going to tell you you need to rest. I'm going to walk you through my framework, REST, so that you can really understand and begin to apply these things for yourself. You can figure out, put your own plan together. I'm working on my wellness plan. Yep. And it includes rest as a priority. It includes me understanding what the spirit of unavailability looks like. And I'm inviting you to do the same. So as we get ready to close out, January lives will be me breaking down my rest framework. Candace, my new friend Candace over here on IG has been doing the 12 planks of Christmas. However, I have found that it's not just about strengthening your core. It's been about me strengthening my spiritual space and meditating. So I've gotten so much out of her 12 planks of Christmas, right? And Lita's Woosah challenge. So if you're not following my girl Candace, I am Candace Camille over on Instagram. Make sure you go check her out. And you're going to be able to gain some practices from her related to what I'm speaking to right now. It's all about divine alignment, y'all. And so sometime in January, I'm going to be sure to have Candace on because she's been dropping some hot tips over here on Instagram. But the truth of the matter is we have been in a grind culture. We have been in a go get it society when our bodies is really telling us to rest. January is going to be all about me dropping contents on ways that you can rest. And I'm going to be, sharing with you about foods that can support your nervous system. So I'm going to be talking more about your nutrition and how all that works together, right? And just to give you a little sneak peek for February content is, February is Heart Health Month. And so I am going to be sharing foods that support your good heart health. You're going to see more from me in the kitchen, and really more information on the different types of foods, low impact movement, things that are sustainable, right? Not just pie in the sky theory, but what are the foods that best support your central nervous system? What are some foods that best support your heart health? What are foods that best support, reduction of, elevated cholesterol if you have that? So I'm going to be walking you through these micro lessons so that everybody can afford a coach. Well, I'm going to say afford. Everybody may not even have access to that, but I want you to have access to the information so that you can still do life well, right? Yes, it is. Yes, it is definitely divine alignment. So, y'all, that's what I have for you on this Figured Out Friday in the Coaches Cafe on this last Friday in 2025. Do not push and press to the end of the year. I'm inviting you to pause and create a rhythm of rest that actually honors your body and works for you. Let me say this. If you cannot walk 5 miles, I invite you to walk 5 minutes. Right? If you cannot take a whole day off, what are you doing on your off days when you are off? Remove some of the things on your plate as much as you can and figure out for yourself. And if you need some help with figuring out how you rest, I am Candace Camille on Instagram. Have some good tips to drop to you to help you create you a rhythm of rest. And again, make sure you go check her out for the wrapping up these last few 12 planks of Christmas. Is more than just your core that she's strengthening. Y'all, has this been helpful to anybody this morning before we get out of here? Has this been helpful? Make sure you set your reminders. I'm here every Friday, 6 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time in the Coaches Cafe, where we figured out. It's Figured Out Friday, y'all. And guess what? You don't have to figure it out alone. I'm here to support you. And as you all know, I will bring on guests to further, share and offer wisdom, offer practical. We ain't talking about nothing that ain't practical, and we ain't talking about nothing that's not sustainable, right? Rest is what's going to sustain us. So 2025, I'm going to be really leaning into this rest space. I got the cap on because rest is different. We so used to the grind culture, rest is different. So I want us to show up different in the new year. I don't want you applying all this pressure. Man, I used to, before I get out of here, I used to be like, stay applying pressure. That's somebody's brand, and it's cute. Sir, ma'am, sir, don't stay applying pressure. I'm inviting you all to learn how to rest in a very practical way. And you are on it. This was an amazing conversation. Thank you, Candace. I'm going to drop you with this before we get out of here. Thank y'all for dropping that here. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. It's my name. And on Instagram and Facebook, it's my name, Regina L. Locking. On YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Doing Life Well with Regina. And if you have not checked out my website, that is www.reginalllacking.com. Have a few free downloadables for you, but just go check out and see who your girl is, beyond the socials. So let me say this. The R in the framework is release the load. So I'm going to break that down next week. How do you practically release the load? Because I don't want you going into 2026 picking up all this stuff. We're going to be releasing the load, and we're going to be walking together in some very restful spaces. Got some exciting things on the horizon in 2026 that I'll be very excited to share. Next Friday, I have a very big announcement that I'll also be sharing with you all. So super excited about that. This rest thing is so paramount that I'm partnering with Black Women Do Heal, and we're going to be hosting a collective day of rest in 2026. So Doing Life Well is going to be hosting in-person events, collaborating with, supporting organization, nonprofit title called Black Women Do Heal, and doing some phenomenal work to one, educate, and not only educate, but help us to transform our thinking and put into practice what does it look like to have a collective healing space as we're out here in these community healing streets, figuring out how to heal ourselves individually and collectively. I will say this, and then I'm gonna get out of here. We can do life well, and we can do life well in community, right? We can do life well, and we can do life well in community. Look for resting opportunities in 2026. One of the things that I'm working on is called Restoring Her, RESTORING. We got to be restored, sisters and brothers. We've been so out of whack. We have just really, really been grinding far too long, and it is no longer acceptable to our bodies. And so I'm going to get out of here. I'm excited for what the new year is going to bring in a soft life. Thank you for dropping that in the comments, dropping that in a soft life way where we are being intentional about building in rest rhythms on an ongoing daily basis, and not just when something happens to us, or not just on the weekends, or not just on our off days. We're going to be building in practices. Super excited about it. Thank y'all for pulling up to me on this with me on this Figured Out Friday. It is your girl, Coach Regina, with Doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting, your plant-based boss. And boss represents and stands for becoming a well soul every day. 2026, we're going to be resting as we rise. Thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure to have this conversation with you all. Hopefully something was meaningful to you that you can take back and apply as it relates to where you are in your rest practices. I will talk to you later. Make sure you comment on this, and if it, resonated with you, share with me on the comments what actually resonated, and then share it out with other people who may need to hear it, or make sure they pull up next week as we break down the framework. Y'all have a well day, and I will chat with you later. Again, thank you for pulling up with your girl, Coach Regina, with Doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. Become unavailable. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you so much.